been building nonstop. It's been a fantastic week here, and I'm super excited about what we're doing and where we're going to go. And again, as Sam said, we are we're moving into the unknown a little bit. We've built this system we call Hyperbeam and AO Core, and it's unlike anything I've ever been a part of. So with that, I want to just share a few minutes more focused around AOS because I think about that every day. I think about how developers can interact with this supercomputer and how developers can interact with Hyperbeam. And it's different. It's different than your typical kind of stack of tools. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. So the beginning, kind of where AOS started, kind of the current status, and then where we're going. And where we're going is still kind of open, and would love to talk to you guys more about that. So the first thing I thought of was, hey, Claude, why don't you create a talk? Right? One of these days, maybe this will be true, but I thought it would be fun to kind of share what AI kind of thinks of our ecosystem. So I took a few screenshots of the markdown it created, and this was after it read the white paper and said, what are the key concepts to emphasize? And it's kind of the speaker's notes. So message first architecture. Everything's a message, right? We send messages back and forth, which is a little bit different than the norm. Holographic state. How many of you guys remember holographic state a year ago? Yeah, it's a cool term. It was pretty cool that the AI kind of picked that up and kind of defined it pretty well, or at least it tried. And then this was cool. I really want to include this, the modular network unit. So Su, Ku, and Mu, right, of AO. What is a scheduler unit, a compute unit, and a message unit? And sounds like a Dr. Seuss book, right? And then some of the others. But then I said, okay, well, now that Claude knows AO, what would Claude do if I pointed him to the Hyperbeam documentation? What would Claude have to say about that? So it did that, and it said, join the M3 revolution, which is pretty cool. And then experiment, and this is where we differ a little bit. It says use M3 dry runs. We want to use M3 patch. Let's move away from dry runs and let's move to the patch and to be able to access actually cryptographically state for your users. The nice thing about that is it's very minimal compute, and the users get the information very fast. So when you want to check your balance, you're not waiting, which is important. Create applications impossible on any other platforms. We'll see, right? That could be kind of cool. Be cool to hear, but we're already hearing so many people with great ideas and making great progress, even though we're in the current state that we're in. And so it's just going to be pretty awesome to move and create. And then finally, innovate, push boundaries, autonomous systems, agentic systems, right? And then be a part of building the permanent web. So that's really how I got started in Arweave, is this idea of permanence. And one of these days, I'm going to give a talk on lessons learned on how to build truly permanent software. But I am still a novice in that area right now. But that is the dream, is to build something that your great grandkids can look at and say, that's pretty cool. So just getting started, February, we launched AO Testnet with AOS. And one of the coolest things is, and it's still cool today, being in an airplane 35 2,000 feet in the air and being able to pull up an AOS terminal and run a command. Just, I know you can do that with other systems, but just the feeling you get when you're pulling this up and you're like, I'm running this process and it's talking back to me. It's pretty cool. Around May, we launched, kind of AI on AO, which was really, really cool. We were doing late nights and we launched this reality protocol. How many of you have checked out Llamaland? It's kind of a way to interact with AI. It's kind of fun, right? Until it stopped giving you coins. But I remember, Elliot was like, "Oh, someone figured out how to give like 1,000 coins every time," and he's like, "I'm on top of this." But yeah, Elliot did some really great stuff, and the whole team did some great stuff there. A lot of fun. And the cool thing is the reality protocol is you could build this whole, kind of environment with just Lua and some schemas. And, you did not have to rig a whole game build system to get started and be able to come up with ideas and contribute to the ecosystem. So I thought that was a pretty cool use case. I've never seen anything quite like that before, where you can just add maybe 100 lines of code and have this whole interactive experience. So there's another one of a couple of llamas with the AO t-shirt on. It's kind of funny. And people started interacting and creating little, kind of questions and answers. I think there was a fishing game on where they had a fishing tournament in Llamaland or in the reality protocol, and all kinds of little things like that. It's a lot of fun. Still is a lot of fun. And then Singapore. In Singapore, we shipped AOS 2.0. And one of the things we improved is the ability to do coroutines, or the ability to essentially behind the scenes send a message out, let it do something, and then when it came back, code could run, which was pretty cool. And our blueprints became stable. So many people started building meme coins with the AO token spec, and that was awesome. Except for the day before Christmas, do not launch your meme token. No, it was fun. I think it was the day after. That was a fun time. If anyone remembers some of those things, but it was great. It was super easy to build tokens, to share tokens. Some great tools by Autonomous Finance were created, even in Christian, and some awesome tools by Outprog, PermaSwap. And we really have pushed the limits of the testnet with these blueprints. And then community projects. I want to give a shout out to Ankush at APM, our Better Idea. And he's created some great software. His team, APM is one of those, and it stands for AO Package Manager. So basically, all the developers can create these little packages, publish them on Arweave, and then install them in their Lua processes by just doing APM install. And one of the things we're going to do in the future is make that native. So when you install Hyper AOS, or when you install AOS, APM will just be built in. Won't even have to think twice. So that's pretty cool. And there's been so many other great builds. I think at Arweave Asia, I got to be a judge for a game hackathon. And I think I must have reviewed like 30 games that were built on AO. It was amazing. And they did it in just a few weeks. Very, very cool. A lot of, when we first put AOS out there and Lua, like we were wondering what would happen. And I had people that have never even coded before saying, "Hey, this is so cool, I can send messages on AOS." So I thought that was really cool. Going to 2025, Hyperbeam, lands and this AO core. And you can think of AO core in just a very generalist way. So we have this protocol AO that's got messages and the ku, su, and mu. AO core is more lower than that. It allows you to run, of course, AO, but it also allows you to do other things like stateless compute or patch or any of the things that Sam talked about. You just build with AO core. And what's really neat about that is if we, and I know some of you have looked under the hood of the ku, su, and mu of LegacyNet, and especially the ku, it is at best spaghetti junction, right? But this idea of devices just makes that go away. And then it makes things modular. It forces you to do things in a modular way, which is incredible. And so, maybe, a team like you'll hear from today that have been building these devices, they can build in parallel as we build AOS and build on AO core, and things just connect versus having to have this kind of very unwieldy code base to navigate through. So this is really a lot of fun to think about. So we're here in June 2025, and as we are moving to milestone 3 beta, we're also going to drop AOS 2.06, and it will have full support for M3 beta. You'll basically be able to npm install just like you normally do, but then when you launch, you'll just do AOS mainnet and then your Hyperbeam node and then your process name. And you'll get a prompt to select Genesis WASM. So it's like the Google web page, it's like search or I'm feeling lucky, right? So Genesis WASM is the safe, that's what we've worked on for a year now. And then there's Hyper AOS, which will be, at this point, I'm feeling lucky to play with that. But again, our initial results is a huge amount of performance boost. So I encourage everyone to really give that a go. Something that I'm very excited about is where we go with Hyper AOS, because its connectivity to Hyperbeam, it'll allow us to do some really, really cool things in the future. And let me back up. So before I move any further, I want to really show as much gratitude as I can humanly possible thank you all, the whole community, both here and on the internet. I mean, this has been an incredible journey, and it's been more incredible to work with all of you who have the same passion and commitment to building something great. So please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much. 2.38 billion messages in a year. It's not bad. And while I am on the gratitude, I want to give a huge shout out to the Forward Research Ops team and the whole Forward Research company. They have done nothing but incredible things for this community, for our team, for this event, and please just give them all a round of applause. Thank you. And lastly, my cyberspace family, the AO core team back here, we have spent a lot of time together this last year. And then again, without further ado, Seb and Sam, they have been just rocks in this whole community and this whole process. So I just want to give them a huge thanks for everything that they've done. Okay. No. So building this foundation, and as Hyperbeam is very, very difficult to explain. I can't come up with an elevator speech for it in 30 seconds. But one thing I can do is explain how you can use Hyperbeam through AOS. So I really think that AOS for at least a short amount of time will be kind of something that's my focus and mission to make the most ultimate Hyperbeam client out there. And maybe, when you download a Hyperbeam node, maybe Hyper AOS pops up and you start typing. Who knows? Please give me some feedback if and I know many of you have, and I love all the ideas, and we really want to make this a platform that developers really love to build on and continue to build on. And then, we want users to be able to enjoy using the permaweb forever, right? So it doesn't ever go away, which is kind of cool. So my future, all roads lead to Hyperbeam. Hopefully you guys will join me. I really, really think it's going to be a wild ride. I had to put this screenshot in. One of the things that we want to fix is when you first load Hyperbeam, this showed up, but then we have a little tail of stuff. But this is one of the coolest things. Eat the glass, build the future. Very cool. And then finally, just wanted to take a couple of questions and then I'll hand it out. So if anyone has any questions, I know there's a lot of technology and I know that there might be some questions, but if one or two people have like an immediate question that I can answer right now, I'd love to take it on. Cool. That's great. Thank you so much. Let's build.